So this video is pertaining to Donald Trump and how he has won the Republican Party um, candidacy, and people were kind of happy, and then there were people upset. But I'm just doing this to inform you and show you how Donald Trump exists and how he's popular with people. Donald Trump is basically a figment of everyone's imagination. He's a figment of a positive figment of people who believe in, whether they would like to believe it or not, white supremacy and the 1% in power and discrimination and segregation and all the isms in the world. That's who Donald Trump is. And on the other hand, he's the figment of people's imagination who don't believe in it. Now, when I say a figment of your imagination, I mean that because your brain and your mind is a sponge, and what you put in your brain and what you believe, most of it, although it's reality, it's a reality that has been constructed and molded by other people outside of yourself. And a lot of us like to think and believe that we think for ourselves, and we don't. It's impossible. You have never been given the chance to think for yourself, and that's how people come up with people who are enlightened or aware. These people are people who, although they were never given a chance from birth to think for themselves, as they got older and they started to interact with people and look at stuff in a way of not being on one end of the sword or the other end, but look at stuff like, from different standpoints. So if you ever seen an unborn, well, not an unborn, but a baby when it's first born, that baby comes here with a clean slate. It doesn't have any ideas or ideologies or thoughts about anything. That's why when you see kids and babies, people are like, wow, he's really or she's really advancing fast. You know why? Because the brain at that point is empty. There's nothing on the brain is like a piece of paper with nothing on it. So that's how a baby can, like with kids who speak bilingual kids. You can have a Spanish speaking, well, it's not a Spanish speaking person. You can have a person of Latino descent who don't speak Spanish, and they kids will grow up and not speak Spanish. But you can have kids who parents are Latino, and then the kids learn Spanish and English. It's easy for it because the brain the brain is a break slate, so it just gets suck up all this energy. You ever watch a kid when they're little and they look at you and they're watching what you're doing, then they repeat it? That's because their brain it has so much of this empty space, and it's just soaking it all in, and it's just picking up on traits or whatever. How do you think kids can form sentences when they're younger but don't know how to spell the words? But they'll take a word that they heard you use and use it correctly in a sentence, but they don't know how to they don't know how to spell the word. They haven't been to school yet. They don't know how to form a sentence or put a period or an end or any punctuation marks in the sentence. But they'll take a word and use it correctly, and you just be like, wow, and that's because of that. So Donald Trump is what America and the 1% deleted. He's representing them, and most people who believe in what Trump says are exactly that. They are we all are, like I said before, mentally abused children because we've never been the chance to think and believe for ourselves from day one. So if you have parents who have kids who believe that white people are better than other races, that this country was built on capitalism, or that certain people shouldn't have this and certain people should have that, and that what happens with power and money, and that's the number one thing, and they teach their kids the same thing, and their kids grow up, and then when you watch TV, that's all you see on TV is the exact same thing. And people know Trump through his television shows that he has, like especially the Apprentice, where you get fired. So he's popular. So there's never been, I think, a run for president with so much name callings. It's like a TV show. So when white people who believe in Trump, when they see him speak, first off, he resonates with them because of the color of his skin. So, okay, that's a person that looks like me. Wow. So then he comes out and says, oh, Mexicans are this and that, and we shouldn't allow them in their country. So white people who have been taught from birth that they're better and that this is their country, and if you have this makes you better than people who don't have that. People who believe that see that and listen to Trump, and they believe in what he's saying. Oh, this person looks like me and things like that. But what you fail to realize is that your belief system, who you are, and why Trump resonates with you, it has nothing to do with you at all. This is something you have been taught from birth. These are not ideas of your own. You didn't come up with this yourself. Sorry to tell you that. You're believing in a system that has been going on forever, long before you were thought of, long before you were born, and you haven't even been given a chance to think for yourself or believe in things that are out of the realm of what you've been taught from birth. And when you watch TV, most people watch stuff that they like or that resonates with them. A lot of people, it's like certain people that listen to rap music and all they listening to is the murder, kill, sell drugs. You try to get them to listen to some positive rap music, they'll get mad. They'll be like, I don't want to hear that shit, man. That music ain't talking about nothing. That's corny. That's weirdo rap. Because that's the only thing they want to hear is what they're used to hearing and what they like and what resonates to them. And the sad thing about it is that how can you call yourself an individual or call yourself evolved or aware if you're doing what everybody else is doing? And you listen to it. If you don't indulge in other things, how can you call yourself an individual? If you're just in one spot, you're following along with the crowd, and you think that makes you special or better or whatever. And my thing with Donald Trump is, and this is for religious folks, everything that Donald Trump talks about goes against everything in the Bible. For all you religious folks. So if you are religious and you believe in heaven and hell, if you're following Donald Trump and you believe in his rhetoric and what he's doing, that means you do know you're probably going to go to hell, right? Because there's no place in heaven for people like you and people like Trump. Because he goes against everything in that day. And it's the same thing for America. I stopped pledging allegiance to America a long time ago. So when I go to baseball games, because I like baseball, or events where you have to stand up for the national anthem and pledge allegiance, I can't stand anymore because I've got shot and I'm in a wheelchair from a spinal cord injury. But I don't take off my hat. I don't do any of that. Because then if I was pledging allegiance to the United States of America, that means that I'm upholding them in all their wrongdoing. And if I did that, even though I'm not a religious person, but I'm spiritual and I believe in a higher power, but if I was a religious person, if I was doing that, then I would be going against everything in the Bible. Most of the things that we do here as Americans, and especially when it comes to our government and 1%, all of that is, everything that we do is totally against, like I said, for your religious first, it's totally against everything that's in the Bible. Absolutely everything. So while you are condoning Donald Trump and his nonsense, and the same thing with the Democrats, back and forth. It's funny, I was looking at Facebook today and I seen that Hillary Clinton came out and said that it's true that police officers are intentionally and undeniably, killing unarmed black men on purpose. When I looked at it, I started laughing and I said to myself, she's trying real hard, isn't she? She went from playing dominoes with Latinos, she went from going on the Breakfast Club talking about hot sauce, to making this statement. And a lot of black people are like, oh, look, she's talking about, she's really admitting it and setting it up and she really cares. No, she doesn't. This is just another statement to make you fools. And I don't mean disrespect calling you fools, but just to make you all who aren't aware enlightened, to make y'all believe in her. Because my point is this. If you can come out there and say that Hillary Clinton, that means that you and other people in the government know this and know what's going on, and why aren't you doing anything about it? What you gonna tell us? If you elect me president, I'll promise that I'll fix this and do something about it. So why do we have to wait till you're president? How about this? How about you do something about it now? And if you do something about it now, minorities will come out and vote for you. But don't pull this bullshit and then say, well, we're gonna do this and do that if you vote for me, this and that. Because we know good and goddamn well that's a lie. You're gonna get in the office, that shit gonna get put on the back burner, ain't nothing ever gonna happen. So, citizens of America, black, white, or whoever, who believe in equality, this and that, don't let what she said resonate with you at all in one bit. Just another bunch. It's just some old bullshit. Some old shit, her trying to connect with black people after she called us super predators. And they injected the bill and truth in sentencing for more black men are in jail for selling weed than anything. So, back to Trump. So, all I'm telling you all is that you spend a lot of time not with yourself, but entertaining your mind. But you're entertaining your mind with trash. And when you put in trash, you get out of trash. So if you don't believe in what I'm telling you, or you're like what I was talking about when I said rap music, you so used to being this way and it'll be real uncomfortable for you to, try to change your mindset, that's fine. But there's no denying what I'm telling you. This is the truth. There's no fancy books. I ain't got no smoke screens. I ain't got a bunch of people standing behind me, whatever. Think about what I just said, everything I said to you, and tell me where I'm making this up at. Tell me where I'm lying, what I'm lying about. Everything that you believe in, that you back, this is something that's been handed down to you. And to me, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Latino, Asian, whatever, if you've been taught this in your family, and your family have allowed you to believe in this way, that to me, this is the worst form of abuse in the world. You can be beaten, yes. But mental abuse lasts for a lifetime. And that's why you don't change. That's why it's so hard to change your mindset. Let's think from the time that you were a baby to the time that you were 25. 25 years of being told a certain thing over and over and over again. Whether it's from somebody telling you, you watching it on TV, you hearing it in the music, just think. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get over that, just like 400 years of slavery. And you just expect black people to be these perfect people and we supposed to act a certain way. 400 years of slavery. And then, after that, there are still roadblocks set up that we have to fight to get through. Then you're told every day in the news and on TV that you're not this, that you're not that. But we still here. In a country that we didn't ask to come here. People always might go back to Africa. We didn't ask to come here. Always remember that. And then we're gonna go back to Africa for what? We built this motherfucker. Did you forget? You all do realize that. America was built on the backs of black people. So if you built something, if you had a home that you built, and somebody came to your home and said, get the hell out of here. Go back to whatever, we taking this house. How would you feel? It's the same thing. The exact same thing. When you buy something or you own it or whatever, you don't want it taken that from you. And not that we want it, and I don't understand. I think white people think that if things got better, that black people would, want to hang them and beat them and rape them. No, we won't do that. Because it's just not in our nature. And I know that's what you see in the news, that we do to each other as far as crime. But there's white on white crime, there's, Latino on Latino crime, and, Asians on Asians crime. That's usually what crime is usually committed to people by the people who are in their communities. But majority of black people aren't criminals and, what they would like to let you believe on TV or make you believe on TV. That's all they show you. It's there, but that's just a small percentage of the population. And you do realize that we are only 12 to 13% of the population. I'm not giving black people a pass on some of this ignorant shit we do. Killing each other and this and that, but that's just due to programming and brainwashing also. And especially with rap music and this and that. Some of this is our fault. Regardless of, the conditions and the stuff that we went through, some of this ignorance is our fault, and all due to brainwashing. A lot of things that ail America and American people is due to money. People do anything for money. And when they say the money is the root of all evil, that's absolutely true. That's the facts, and there's nothing you can do about it. Money is the root to all evil. People make bullshit music and push it out here to our kids for the sake of money. America does stuff to other countries and, stuff to their own people for the sake of money. And power and quote unquote money, it's the great divide. And what the citizens of America don't realize is that we're all into this together, and this together. If you think about it, we all are slaves to our government and the 1%. And you're going to sit there and say to yourself, like, how is that so? Through taxes, through debt, through marriage. Marriage is debt. That's all it is. There's nowhere in the Bible for you religious folks to say that Adam and Eve got married, or Adam and Eve went out and bought a house, Or Adam and Eve, Adam had to get Eve a wedding ring. And they had this big elaborate wedding and go here and go there. That's all a part of the economic system that you all are spending money on because you've been taught the same thing and to believe in this to continue to make money and make debt. That's all it is. And you are slaves and you don't even realize it because you believe that this is the way things are supposed to be. And for the people who don't believe that, the people who are enlightened, like the 1% of government, they know exactly what's going on. They know what they're doing. And if you, for one thing, for you religious folk, I'm going to tell you this much. Your government apparently don't believe in the Bible at all. And they don't believe in God. Because if they did everything, they spitting in the face of that every day. Every day. So either they know something that you don't know, or they just don't give a fuck. And they don't give a damn about American people going to hell or anything else. And every time you pledge allegiance to it and you agree with everything that's going on, then you going to hell too. So that's how Trump is. That's how Trump became popular or is popular or whatever. Because the only thing he's doing is tapping into your brain and pulling out all the bullshit that you have learned and been taught. And you think, okay, yeah, that's somebody I can back and that's who I believe in, or he's right about this. That's all it is. It ain't no different than you go to your computer, you take a USB plug and you plug it into the modem, and then you can extract information out of there and it resonates with whatever and it comes to your phone or whatever it is. It's the exact same thing. So that's my little spiel on Trump and some more programming, and I have a couple of more videos I'm gonna do. I'm gonna touch on, like I said, music and entertainment. So you all have a good night.